My name is Gareth Spencer and I'm a technical consultant here at Man Machine. Today I wanted to have a quick look over the new naming containers inside BIM 360 Docs. So we're going to look at BIM 360 and the new ISO 19650 naming conventions that's been included as part of this. So I've literally just set up a project and I'm going to go into my project admin now. And this is the first time I've done this, so it's new to me as well as it will be to you. And I thought it'd be good to go through it straight from scratch and not even actually test it out prior to this. What I did do is I looked at an existing project to see if you could assign it to an existing one, which you can't at present. So this appears to be only working for new projects. So firstly, let's click on the name standard here. And you'll see the first thing I can notice straight away is once we apply this, we cannot remove it. Okay, so as soon as we click on apply and go into the process and accept that, I'm assuming that's it. You won't be able to go back and correct that. One thing I'm going to do quickly before we go into this is look at the help file. So go to the little question mark here and click on help. Now I've already got it set at the location. I'm going to show you where you need to go. So inside the help file under document management, you'll see here we have file naming standard. So on this section here should have everything you need to get yourself started. Okay, so let's jump in. So let's click on view and apply, and you'll notice straight away there's a little bit of a problem there. So this has obviously just been released and it's going to be out of date. So now one thing that was updated in the recent months, back in February there was an update to the ISO 19650 naming convention. Now I'm talking about UK here, I don't know the specifics around the world, but here's an example. So you'll see if I just pop this down below, you'll see project originator is the same, volume has been removed and changed for fractional breakdown, and the same for level and location. That has been replaced here. Type's been replaced for form, and role has been replaced for discipline. So that's something we're going to have to be aware of. Now I'm going to check this in a moment, but here are the status codes in the latest standard. But you'll see, I'm sure it'll be aligning to the existing standard itself. So let's give it a go and let's see what happens. So if we do apply, it's going to go through the process now and start setting up. So you can see here, first things first, it's saying document attributes, and we can customize this. And here's given an example as a preview. Naming convention, so these will be the specific naming convention we can use, and we've got related attributes for the status, revision and classification. So if you don't know, in the UK we use Uniclass. So if I just go to MBS Uniclass page, and for those of you unaware of this, on this page here you'll see all the Uniclass codes. So this will be what this is being using inside here. Okay, we can enforce this to specific folders. Now I haven't set any folders up yet, so I'm going to see in a moment when I go into that whether I can do it through here or whether I'll be able to go out and actually apply it to others. Let's click on custom first. So let's have a look. So you'll see here we've got project, and you'll see we can take things off. Oh, that's good. Okay, we can go add, and we can add that back in. And unfortunately, that's it on the end, so we're going to drag across, but that's fine. That's good. You can do that. You don't have to remove them all and replace them. So first things first, with regards to the project, so we can put in a description. No, I guess we can't. We can go in here and change the characteristics to alphanumerical and numerical. Now, my personal opinion, that'd be nice to have both, because it might be specific to a client where they'll specify the project could be A and then numerical. But let's just go with number, and you can see we can specify, and this is nice here, so you can go range, not required, fixed length and so forth. So it's basically saying it must be between those two, which is great. Again, if you look at the originator, so you can see here it's put in the codes. Now how do we add a separate one in? No, we can't add one in at the moment, but I'm sure if we come down here, look at the settings, you can see how we can dominate through. So I'm just going to leave these for a second and just carry on going across the top. Now if I go into here and go change, oh, I see. So we can add in our sample codes, so we could specify what those would be. Okay, so let's, for example, we want to add one in here. This will be man and machine. Put in a description, so we just type in here man and machine, and let's just go for another one. So I'll just call this arc for the simple purposes, so we know it's the architect. And I'll just put one more in, and let's do MEP, and we'll just call this one building. Oops, building services. Okay, these are the company names. Okay, so it's got some examples. I'm assuming we'll be able to, there you go, a drop down list. Once we do this, we'll be able to select. So the volumes, again, as default, in the standard default Z and X, but in the new standard, I'm just going to refer to that. Sorry, when I said the new standard, I'm going to say the updated standard. It actually removes those, but because we're talking about, let's just pull this up again, it's a fractional breakdown. We can still use the same ones. So again, I'm just going to carry on with that. Same with level, so it's specifying the specific levels. Now, again, I know this has changed. As default, we've got the X, XX and ZZ, but you can apply specifics because it all depends down on the project. Because, for example, maybe it's rail, maybe it's highway, they may not use the same as these, but we'll keep them for now. And then we're looking at the type. So again, I know this has changed because if I just click back into here, we've got the form. So I know these have specifically changed of what these are. So now we've not got these specific codes. But again, I'm just going to utilize these for this purpose. One nice feature I think would be useful here if we could turn these off. So let's have a quick look in here. Can we can get rid of them. Okay, so we can click on those and delete those off if we wanted to. But again, I'm just going to leave this in here. There's a simple add button there. So for example, with the new one, we've got D, which is classed for drawing. Now I'm not sure on the new ones based around the codes we've got, but I've not looked at it into too much detail. But for this purpose, I'm just going to do it as a demonstration. Let's click save. Next thing, we've got role. So the specifics on role. Now again, I know these have changed again slightly. So for example, it says architect here in the old version, and we've got architecture in the new one. So there's some minor changes in the standard. Again, we can customize that, but I'm just going to take these as default for now. And then we've got the numerical numbering at the end. So you can see here again, we can put in alphabetical or numerical, and we can put a range in, so it's fixed between these two values. So that hopefully that should be, it's between 4 and 6, no more, no less. So we've got the settings here for the denominator, so it's a hyphen, underscore, so forth. So I'll just leave it as a hyphen for now. So as I mentioned earlier, the related attributes. So if we come in here, the status codes. So I know for a fact, if we just pull this back up, you can see here, the status codes have changed. Now, it's not saying they're working differently, it's just how they're represented. So, for example, S6, 7 are no longer available, and S5 is here. So, what we'll have to do, or someone will have to do, is have to review which is the appropriate ones. And again, if we go into change here, you can see they can be removed, which is great. So someone can go in, remove the specific ones, and update the appropriate ones. And I'm not going to go into that in detail now because we'll be here all day, but you can see where I'm coming from. Okay, so that's great. And revisions, and you'll see in here we've got the details. So alphanumerical. So now that's going to be interesting, because with regards to our revisions, revision numbering goes specific like P01, it could be P01.1, it could be C01, so forth. So I'm going to leave it as it is. You'll see in here it's allowing a text field at the moment, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but let's try it and let's see how it goes. Like I say, I'm sure we can probably customize it as we're going along, but we'll see. So here we come with the classification system. Now I'm going to include one, and let's have a look. So it'd be interesting to see how up to date this is, because I know there has been a release of the Uniclass or an update to the Uniclass recently. So let's give it a go. Let's see how this goes. Let's do save and apply. So this is now applied. So it's customized. I'm assuming we can always come back and customize this. I'm not sure. So let's select the specific folders. Now we've not assigned any folders in here. So what I'm going to try and do, again, live demonstration, so things can go wrong, which is great, and we can see how we can fix them. Let's go into document management and see if we can come back and customize this. I'm hoping we can. So I'm going to go into my projects area and add a folder. Now I'm going to do it as simple. I'm just going to have a work in progress area where under that I'm going to put M&E. Oops. I'm going to put an architect just for reference purposes here, and I'm going to put a published, and I'm going to have a shared area just for this reference. Okay, switch back into my project admin. So let's see if we can customize this. I'm hoping we can. And let's go in, select folders. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it to the published and shared areas, but leave the work in progress, because actually the work in progress is going to be the location of where each discipline is going to be working on the specifics. And it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't probably matter as much in that, but I want to just test it in anyway. Okay, so I've got a holding area here, so control how the documents are uploaded when non-conform files exist. So enable that. Okay, so let's see a little bit of information there. And again, just for your reference, if we go back to the help file in here, you'll see this should help us and talk us through what we're doing here. Okay, so we can go through what we need to do. All right. Right, smashing. Okay, so as you see here, we've got the attributes one as well. I'm sure this is allowing us to add and customize our attributes, and this is a nice field here. So the attributes, I'm assuming this is all attributes in there. We can add specifics if we need to. Fantastic. So again, I'll look about that later. Let's go into a project. So I have some files all ready to upload. Okay, so I am going to do that. So I'm going to literally just drag and drop two files in here, like so. I'm going to click. Oops, I'll tell you what I've done. I've put them in the wrong area. So I'm going to now. Actually, I put this in the plans area. It didn't allow me to assign it to the plans area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just cancel that one for now, and I'm going to go into my my shared area, and let's drag and drop two files in there. Okay, so first things first, two documents do not comply with the naming standard, resolve issues. Okay, so it's going through. I need to select their specifics. So I'm going to go in here and let's just do those. I'm not picking anything specific here, I'm just doing some random stuff. So the drawings, their architects, and let's go with the numbering. Okay, status, let's just set it to that. Revision, so S, let's just try P1 for now on that one, and P1. And classification system, okay, that's great. So these actually, if I just open up one of the drawings, and you'll see in here if I drag this on the screen. So this is my ground floor plan for my building. Okay, so let's have a quick look. So I'm assuming we can do some searches in here. So drawing, we can see here we've got a drawing one. Okay, now I'm not an expert in Uniclass by any means, so I don't know all the codes, but I'm just going to give it a test and see how it goes. So I click on upload to folder. Okay, so that'll go through the process and start uploading, which is fantastic. So again, I'm going to try the same again, but this time I've got two more drawings. I'm going to put them into the whip area once that's done. So actually, nicely, it's put the information in for me and uploading the files, and they're done really quick. Now it'd be good if that was an instant thing behind the background. So I'm going to literally drag two more drawings. Let's put them into the architecture folder here, drag and drop. Now, if you remember, I didn't set this at all. So as you can see, these are uploading and it's not asking for me to specify the naming convention. So you can set it for specific areas, and that's nice. And actually, just looking over to the left, I'll see here on the actual folder, there is no tick. And then these ones above, you might be able to make it out. There you go, naming standard enforced on this folder. So that's a nice little feature. Now, I suppose the interesting thing would be if you had an approval process in place that you wanted to transfer this file to here. Now we're going to have a look at that in a second. So I'm not going to go through the process of setting up an approval process. Okay, then for your information, I've just jumped into the reviews area here and I've created a review. So basically it's just from one person to another, and we've allowed it to copy to the shared folder. So I'm going to go back into my documents area and let's see how this works. So this may work, it may not. Let's have a quick go. So if I go in, let's select these two files. I want to put them into an approval, into a review process. I'm going to go through test review. So let's see. Now then, okay. So first thing here, document does not conform to naming standard, therefore cannot be included in the review. So that is interesting. It's not allowing me to go into submit the files. Now that could be that would be a problem because if you want to allow that to happen, it's not going to. So yeah, maybe we need to speak to Autodesk whether that's a wish list or ideas for the future. But first things first, I think that's a really good function that allows you to do that and to assigning all the relevant things like classification fields, because I'm assuming if I go into the filters, I can then filter by things like classifications, which will help me, for searching, because if there's multiple files in here, it's going to make life a lot easier. Now it'd be interesting, I'm going to pull up my desktop connector and see how that works directly into here. So actually if we go in, oh great, so you can see here it's pulling up the specifics on top. Now for some reason it's not loaded all of them yet, it's taken a little while, but I'm sure it will. So I'm just going to open my desktop connector and I'm going to see how this works if I upload files through the desktop connector. So again, okay, so here is my desktop connector. Now bear in mind you may need to update yours. Mine is now updated to the Autodesk Docs one. So if you go to your taskbar at the bottom, you will see your Autodesk desktop connector. If you right click on that, okay, it should tell you if there's an update or something on here, so you can go and check. But I would recommend doing that. Make sure you've got the latest one. It's not BIM 360 anymore, it's Autodesk Docs. It still links to both of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload some files directly through this shared area and see how this works. So I'm going to take the two files I had before, drop them into this folder. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how this works now, because before we uploaded the information straight through the web interface, this time I've gone through the desktop connector. But while that's doing, so you'll see here it's come up with a warning telling me. So I'll just go into the desktop connector, pending actions. So you'll see actions failed. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. It's not allowing me to upload the file through the desktop connector at this time. So let's see if I can run it through. Let's give it a test. No, it's not allowing me to do that. So I'm going to have to clear all the actions from there. So it looks like the only way to upload at the present time is through the web portal, nothing through the desktop, if you've got that applied. So let me try that again. But if I refresh that, it's saying the files are here, but there's an issue with regards to here. So I'm just going to go back into, let's just do a quick search. So at the moment, if I want to search in here, you can see I've got the specifics by classification. So that is really good. I think that's a really good feature, especially if you want to make sure that people apply the right naming conventions. Now, as it sees at the moment, it's not applying it to the plans area. It's only applying it to the project files area. So it'd be interesting to find out, why Autodesk haven't done that. Again, I think I'll ask a question, see how they've set this up and why. So interesting little features there inside BIM 360. Just going to refresh that to see if it comes up. So they're not stating that the files are there. It's come up with a warning. If I go into the publish log, let's have a look. So the publish log is only showing these two files within the folder. Okay, so let's have a look at the document log. Although that should tell me the same thing. I'll just export anyway. I'm going to go into the project admin and just check to see if this information is stated anything. So you'll see here, put the approval process. Okay, so it's not stating in the files that couldn't upload. So you'll see in here, it's showing them, and I bet I can click on that, can I? And open the version. So it's saying the version's there. It's still seen as a pending action. So I'm going to ask that question of why that actually works with Autodesk directly and see what they come up with. But first impressions, I think it's a great feature. It's going to be something that everyone's going to get used to and utilize. But like I say, inside here, once you've enabled it, it won't allow you to do that. So this is interesting. It said holding area. Now I've not come across that just yet, so let's go back into the project and let's see what it says with regards to that. So maybe that's the reason why it's not, the files aren't coming up. Let's go into here, holding area. Okay, so interesting, there's nothing coming up on regards to that, so I'm assuming that would pop up so we can actually work with it, but it's not. Again, it's something I need to look at in further detail. So again, that's the first sort of look at it. It looks reasonably good function within the software. Be useful to understand it in more detail. I'm going to go away and do that, and I'll put together another video in due course. But I hope you find that useful. Go away and test it, see how good it is, and if there's any issues with it, if you're not happy with it, post them in the Autodesk forums page, which you can simply go into here. So it'll be, for example, BIM 360 support. Obviously you can ask a question if you need to, pop it in here, or initially go into the ideas forum if you want further enhancements, and pop your ideas in there. Great place to go. Okay, super, thank you very much. Take care, and I'll speak to you again.